This is Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring in his word and truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this could be an edifying and an exhorting video. Okay, just something that hit me in the spirit. I started thinking about these scriptures. This one, a few other ones, as I was listening to the Elder Kanat video. Okay, and just, meditating on the road, working, which really I should have started at verse 3. Okay, which I'll read verse 3. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power." Okay, because Yahweh Shai, he is the way to the Most High Yahweh. Okay, he's the mediator. And once he assembles the elect, we will be back in the good grace of the Most High as a people. Okay, it begins with the elect. All right. But, the Most High will be our power again. Yahweh Shai himself will be here among us. Okay. But, jumping back to verse 4. Okay, this pretty much lets us know that all of, our problems here in Babylon, is going to be a thing of the past. Brothers won't even experience stress in the kingdom. Because here, you get stressed out, man. You start, if you're not careful, you can eat more. You ain't even hungry. It's just stress eating. You can start to lose your hair from stressing. You can get high blood pressure. Stress, can cause you to die early, man. At a young age. We're not going to have stress at all in the kingdom. We're not going to have worries at all in the kingdom. On this side, you're always worrying about something. How I'm going to get this bill paid. I hope my woman not committing adultery on me. I hope my kids is good. How am I going to pay this? How am I going to do that? Oh, man, car problems. How am I going to get through this? It's always something that we have to worry about. But reading this verse again, "And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes." The only way you will cry in the kingdom is tears of joy. Tears that you're glad it's over. But we will never cry from sorrow, from stress, from anger, from pain. We will never experience that in the kingdom. And there will be no more death. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter goes into that. "Oh, death, where's thy sting?" We're no longer going to die because we're going to be perfect. Only the Israelites, these heathen nations, they're still going to die. We will never die, man. Israelite, boy or girl will be born in the kingdom and they will never die. There will be no end to us. Because sin, as the scriptures say, sin is the wages of death. Sin is what brings forth death. We will never sin. Okay, that's why there will be no more death. Won't have to worry about, sickness, disease. Your child, dies early. You hoping that your child can grow up. Your child. You have situations like that, man. Girl get hit by a stray bullet. Ain't gonna be none of that. It says neither sorrow nor crying. Because once again, we're not going to be sad. What is there to be sad about when we're sitting on thrones? When righteousness is the norm in the earth, it's the standard. Okay, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Everything that we're used to here in this current captivity will be a thing of the past, man. Yahweh Bahashem and Hawashai is going to get everything back the way it's supposed to be. Ain't going to be no more man and woman divided, and it's a great division, man. It shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be no brothers that's struggling to get a woman. All these women on earth, the Most High made more women than men for a reason, man. All of this shit is going to be a thing of the past. I'm going to read this in the NLT. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. All these things are going forever, you see? So what we're used to in Babylon, this is all going to be going forever, man. All right? No stress, no worries. Okay? No no stress, man. Because that can cause strokes. We ain't gonna have no health problems. We ain't gonna have none of that, man. Ain't gonna be no chemicals in our food. Ain't gonna be no chemicals in the air. Okay, ain't gonna be no freaking jabs that we gonna inject people with, put it in kids when they born. Ain't gonna be none of that. You ain't gonna worry about nothing, man. You ain't gotta worry about how you gonna eat, how you gonna feed your family. If you don't pay this, you can be evicted. Ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. Just rule in righteousness. Have a complete peace of mind. We have no idea what that's like, man. No idea. Okay? For the former things are passed away. I'm gonna go to my favorite Psalms. Psalms 126:1, a song of degrees. When the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Reading in the NLT, when the Lord brought back his exiles to Jerusalem, it was like a dream. See, when this is over, it's gonna be like it never happened. That's why the scriptures also say the former things shall not be remembered nor come into mind. Which, let me grab that. Oops. Let me grab that. We'll jump back. Please come up. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. The Most High is going to refresh the earth and the rulership. Okay, this thermonuclear destruction is to destroy, but also to cleanse the earth. Okay, and Esau will no longer be sitting on the throne. Okay, it says, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. We're not even going to think about this wicked ass society. Of course, there's going to be a new high holy day where we celebrate when Yahawashi freed us from this captivity, which is the worst captivity we've ever been in as a nation. But we're not just going to be thinking about this place. It might hit your mind. You might be traveling on your chariot, sitting on your throne, going through space, and you might just think like, man, I'm glad that shit is over. I'm so glad to finally be here. But we're not going to think about this place. Reading it in the NLT, look, I am creating new heavens and a new earth, and no one will even think about the old ones anymore, you see? We're not going to think, just like ain't nobody thinking about the Roman Empire. Ain't nobody thinking about the Babylonian Empire. Ain't nobody thinking about the Persian Mede Empire. Ain't nobody thinking about these ancient kingdoms that were great. You know, they thought they would never go down. But nobody's talking about them. Okay, it's going to be the same when this place goes down. It says, but be glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. So the Lord, he's going to make us a rejoicing people forever. That's why it says rejoice forever. Yahweh Shai kingdom will have no end. Reading this in the NLT, be glad, rejoice forever in my creation. And look, I will create Jerusalem as a place of happiness. Her people will be a source of joy. So we're no longer going to be under the curses anymore. We're going to be blessed. It says, and I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. So we're not going to be, afflicted anymore. We're not going to be under the curses anymore. We're not going to be ruled over by our oppressors anymore, man. Isaiah the 14th chapter goes into, we shall rule over our oppressors, and the Lord will give us rest, man. Rest from our hard bondage. And I mean rest. We're gonna truly be able to live in the kingdom. Okay? Let me jump back to Psalms. Quick video, This is Psalms back in 126 verse 2. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Because it's going to be like, man, we're glad it's over. And we're going to be rejoiceful. We gonna sing. You know how Jake get when Jake happy. Jake want to two-step, sing, dance. Man, we gonna really turn up. We really going to be happy. It says, then said they among the heathen, the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, and Yahweh Shai have done great things for them. The heathen is going to witness this. And they're going to be like, man, their power has really blessed them. And it's going to cause them to want to serve our power, to want to serve us, to want to keep our laws, statutes, and commandments so that we can bless them. Okay? So, that's all I'm going to grab out of here. Well, yeah, verse 3, the Lord have done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn away our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. And the Lord, that's what he's doing. He's working on turning away our captivity, delivering the elect, and putting all the curses on our enemies and them that hate us. Okay? We're in the end of this man's rulership. So the former thing shall not be remembered nor come into mind. This wicked ass, how it was waking up to a fucking alarm clock, how it was dealing with women, how it was, paying bills, eating this GMO garbage, man, all of this shit is not going to come in our mind. Okay, we're going to be fully enjoying the kingdom. But Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.